Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? We are getting into Love Island series 11. We are now on episode 15 and we know that Sam has left the building, so now we'll see how the dynamic goes after this aftermath. Before we get into this video, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on doing videos, please comment, like, share and do all the good things that you do, because I am on the road to 1k. Well, it kind of looks like Harriet is not catching a break at all, because it seems that every girl that comes in wants a piece of the running oyster for some reason. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why they want this man, but they want this man for some reason, and Harriet is clinging on hard to this man. You see Grace, and she won't go and talk to Joey at all. So basically she's saying she's giving him time and space in regards to what's happened, to kind of like work through his emotions before she goes and has a chat with him, because everybody else's emotions was up in the air due to the fact that a loved person had left the building. They carried on like, you know, she demised or something, she'd passed, the way that they were grieving her absence at that point. So Grace thought it would be a good idea to not get too close to Joey at that point, because she didn't want to ruffle any feathers at the end of the day. Joey's still going on about how he doesn't know what he did wrong, that he really wanted to work things out with Sam. And I'm just like, he's living on cloud cuckoo land. Like, seriously, he's living on cloud cuckoo land. How he thought he can continue to be friends with Sam. We knew that was not going to work. That ship had sailed from when Sam found out the shit that you did with Grace at the end of the day. I don't really think Joey did anything wrong per se, in terms of, and I know it's going to be an unpopular opinion, but I would say in terms of the beginning, when Grace first came in, Sam understood that there was history between them, but Sam was the one that literally stepped back and gave them the green light to do what they do. Did Joey take it a little bit far? Yes he did. Yes, in true Joey fashion, yes he did. Did Joey then mess up by, as I said in the previous episode, having that conversation with Sam, and then in the next breath he then kissing Grace on the daybed with Sam not so far away but everybody else seeing? Yes he did. That's where he went wrong. But initially, I don't think Joey did anything wrong. The girls do go over to Grace and Tiffany, because Grace and Tiffany are still having a chat, and basically they were there all giving Grace and Tiffany a pep talk, and I'm like, they're deliberating this, like saying to Grace, oh, it wasn't your fault, this is what happens, but Joey could have done X, Y and Z. And I'm like, why are you like deliberating like you's a judge, jury and executioner? This is freaking Love Island, for fuck's sake. This is why I'm saying this place is not built to foster love. This place is built to foster competition between the women and the men them. Well, more so the women between the women, to foster jealousy, yeah, to foster a little bit of hate, because there's a thin line between love and hate, so they say, and to like literally to foster drama. It's not there to foster love. There's only select few that can come out of there and still be together today, like only a select few, and that's because they saw something in each other. And that's that they both wanted. They both had the similar goal in terms of being true to the fact that they actually did want to find love, and they worked through that in order to make it work. They went through a lot of hurdles in there, but they still managed to make it work when they came out. And the most popular one that I can think of right now is I think her name's Holly Mae and Tommy Fury. They've made it work. They've got a child. They're getting married. So, you know, it does work for some, but not for all. But I think you have to be of the same vein in terms of what it is that you're looking for and how you're going to work through that and navigate this minefield that is Love Island to come out on top at the end. These people have not done that. They have not done the groundwork. They come in there saying, oh, I've been single for 4 years. I've been single for 2 years. Why have you been single for that long? What were the main issues that you ended up splitting up from your, like, you know, your ex-partner? Did you have those discussions with them? Are you able to communicate? What is it that you're looking for going forward? What do you think you will change about yourself if you get into a new relationship going forward? And they want to call themselves mature individuals. Okay. So now you have Harriet flitting about the island, yeah, believing that her story with Ronnie is not over. Lord have mercy. The cuckoos come home to roost with that one. I'm telling ya, this man could do anything in this girl's face, and she will still hang on like the limpet. She will still hang on like a limpet to this man, and I don't know why. I really don't know why, because Harriet is a good-looking girl. Harriet is a good-looking girl. She's a bit of a nose. Don't get me wrong, she's a bit of a nose, but she's a good-looking girl, and she could get anybody in there. Even Sean was interested, and I mean, Sean's just a nicer version of Ronnie at the end of the day, because it seems as though every girl that Sean goes for has been with Ronnie and wants Ronnie, and even Sean can't catch a rasp break in there either. So basically, Harriet's having this conversation with Sean and basically saying to him that, you know what, it's always the same thing with Ronnie. He's going to be doing the same thing every time another girl comes in here. If that's how she's able to sleep comfortable at night, and in the fact that, you know what, it ain't just me he's doing this to, it'll be someone else, because then he's not really interested in them like he is me, then okay, if it makes Harriet feel better. So we see Ronnie and Tiffany having a chat, and Ronnie is basically saying to Tiffany, yeah, that he's going to pull Harriet for a chat to tell Harriet what his intentions are with Tiffany. So Tiffany's sitting there listening to what his intentions are, and he says that basically he wants to be able to pursue things with Tiffany. He's not saying that he's locking things off with Tiffany. He ain't in that realm yet, but he knows there's something different with Tiffany than what he had with Jess, to what he's had with Harriet at the end of the day. As I said, Harriet was a stopgap. Harriet wasn't even a blip on Ronnie's radar, but she was just an easy target in order for him to move on from Jess, basically. He didn't want to be seen like the dickhead that he is. So Tiffany's all excited by that, and I thought, my God, don't let your fanny get a flutter, my love. Don't let your fanny get a flutter on this man, because this man can spout off all the good words and take no action. So he has to be about that action at the end of the day. So the other thing that I don't know is the fact that Ronnie refers to himself as Turbo. I'm like, what, is he the Energizer Bunny? Like, why are you referring to yourself as a freaking fast snail? Because that was the movie, a fast snail at the end of the day. So Grace and Joey are having a talk away from the others. They're in the villa itself, and basically Grace is having a go, or dressing down Joey about how he reacted to the situation with Sam, why he came into the dressing room and then tried to sit down when he shouldn't have done that, and why he then made it a whole drama-filled fest in regards to him walking off, sitting down, putting his head in his hands and all this, that and the other. Because Grace believes that Joey dramatically walked off. At the end of the day, Joey's going to deal with that situation how he's going to deal with that situation. He was confronted with someone who literally wanted nothing to do with him, and I don't think Joey has had that experience close up like that before from a girl that he's possibly was still interested in, which he was with Sam. Yes, he went about things the wrong way, but at the end of the day, you can't dress him down for him having a visceral reaction to someone not wanting to talk to him when he really wanted to talk to them. It's an emotional thing. Men do have emotions too. That's all I'm going to say on that bit. That's all I'm going to say on that bit. You see Ronnie and Harriet now having a chat. Now, Ronnie jokingly, now I knew it was a rash joke, but I don't think Harriet did, and this is why Ronnie can't joke with Harriet like that, because she does not get his humour in the slightest. And so basically he goes and says to Harriet, Sean's nicked me girl again. God, Harriet loved that. Absolutely loved that. So basically he does the same thing that he did with Jess, with Harriet, is now doing to Harriet with Tiffany, because now he's like, I need time to think on it, so give me the night, let me sleep on it. And I'm just like, this is one triangle not enough for this man? Like, seriously, is one triangle not enough for this man? So Harriet's there going off on the fact that, you know what, are you gonna kiss her, are you gonna cuddle her, stuff like that. And I'm just like, why are you asking this man that? I mean, he did the same shit with you that he's now going to do with Tiffany. Okay, so you should know this man's MO, his modus operandi at the end of the day. Harriet should know this. So for her to sit there and say that she wants him to be respectful about the situation, that means no kissing and cuddling. Well, you know what? You should have took your own advice, yeah, when Ronnie was coming onto you and Ronnie was with Jess. You should have been respectful in that situation, but you was not. So it's kind of like you reap what you sow, and it's kind of like Ronnie's become the karma sword for these women up in here, because Ronnie is literally showing Harriet, as I keep saying, that he don't want her, but Harriet is ignoring all the signs. Ronnie is just one big walking red flag, let me tell you, and I hope to God Tiffany doesn't fall for his bullshit the way that Jess and the way that Harriet did at the end of the day. Well, Jess managed to extricate herself from it, but Harriet is still in there in the melee, like thinking she's laying down the law to this dude that don't even want her or wants to be on that level with her. She is just the stopgap in between him getting what it is that he actually wants, and right now he's actually showing signs that he wants Tiffany. Anyway, I was just like, he said yes to Harriet to that. What does Ronnie go do? He go kiss Tiffany. They kiss Tiffany as they getting ready for bed. And I'm like, yeah, that's how much Ronnie's word means to Harriet. Like, seriously, he went and kissed her. I was like, okay. Ronnie is for the streets. Harriet continues to moan about this man, but I'm like, but you're literally letting this man do what he wants at the end of the day. You keep moaning about him, you go pull him up, he still shows you the same type of behaviour time and time again, and Harriet still does nothing. Like, literally still does nothing. Takes Ronnie at face value. You reap what you sow at the end of the day. So we get to the daytime. You see that Joey and Grace are happy to be there. It's bittersweet for Jess, but she does thank Omar for keeping her in. Joey says that Joey, I would say, needs to literally get over the situation with Sam. That's how she wanted to end it. That's how she wanted to walk away. So let's just, like, you know, push on forward. At least Sam now has a story. Do you know what I mean? She has a story. Joey's basically blowing guff up Ronnie's ass and saying that, you know what, there's a difference with how Ronnie is with Tiffany. And Ronnie jumped on that train straight away and basically said, yes, there is a complete difference. Like, Tiffany is definitely a bit of him, and Tiffany kind of gets his stupid sense of humour. So Jess is talking about Ronnie and how the fact that he may sweet talk Tiffany because she's chatting to Tiffany about Ronnie, and like all the girls are having their, you know, they have their morning chats and their morning gripes. And I'm just like, it's just coming off bitter. At the end of the day, seriously, he's coming off bitter. So Tiffany and Grace are chatting, and Tiffany is basically saying that she doesn't really see the need to speak to Harriet about anything. And I'm just like, well, why does Tiffany have to speak to Harriet, to be fair? Why do these girls have to always, like, make themselves beholden to the other women that are there, to be fair, when you're all looking for the same thing in this place? Ronnie's not locked off with no one. Ronnie's not made anything serious with Harriet. So why in the hell does Tiffany then have to go and tell Harriet exactly what it is she's thinking and feeling when it comes to Ronnie? It's none of Harriet's business. The same way Tiffany doesn't expect Harriet to come to her to come and tell her feelings about Ronnie. It's none of Tiffany's business. So I don't understand why there's this need to keep chatting about these men all the time. So Harriet then comes over and of course wants to speak to Tiffany, and I'm just like, it is the fakeness for me. It's the fake smiling, the fake laughing, the fake everything, because Tiffany not seconds ago before Harriet pulled up was saying that she don't want to talk to the girl, that she don't want to have that conversation with the girl, because at the end of the day she owes her nothing. She didn't see why. And then now you're smiling in this girl's face like you weren't just saying that a couple of seconds ago. And as I said, be true to yourself, man. Why you got to show this fake facade? If you don't want to speak to the girl, then tell the girl you don't want to speak to her. It's not being rude. It's self-preservation for yourself, because you don't want to hear the shit that she's going to be talking about, because you know it's going to be about Ronnie again. So Harriet is basically going on and banging on, and I'm just like, you know what, Harriet, you need to leave Tiffany alone now. Like, seriously, all it would do is make matters worse. You're fighting for a man that don't want you anyway. That's how I'm seeing it. She's fighting for a man that don't want her anyway, and he's showing some different signs when it comes to Tiffany at the end of the day. And Tiffany wants to believe what Ronnie is saying, but with the shit that's coming from Harriet, it literally is gonna make her step away. And I think that's what the game that Harriet's playing. If she bombards Tiffany enough, Tiffany will fuck off. Basically, that's the game that Harriet's playing. Let's not forget, when she first came in, she's described herself as a princess, and the princess gets everything she wants, and this is how she's playing the game in order to win Ronnie. But she ain't gonna win Ronnie at the end of the day. So Harriet talks about how she's a girl's girl. Harriet is not a girl's girl at all, and her behaviours are indicative to that. Harriet's not a girl's girl in the slightest. Harriet is out for she, herself, and her at the end of the day. That's who Harriet is looking out for. If she can get the better of someone, Harriet will. She can step on toes, Harriet will. Yes, she will get upset by the situation that comes her way, but I don't know. I just don't know why she's fighting for this man so hard. Like, seriously. So she's basically telling Tiffany exactly what Ronnie said to her last night and all this, that and the other. Now, Tiffany didn't mention to Harriet at all that, you know, her and Ronnie had that little kiss afterwards. So it's kind of coming off when it comes to Harriet and her ganging up on Tiffany, like, I licked it first, it's mine. That's how it's kind of coming off about. So Ronnie is having this conversation. Unbeknownst to him, all this shit is going on. Well, he knows they're talking, but he doesn't realise what they're talking about. And Ronnie's having this conversation with Sean and basically saying to Sean that he believes Tiffany is it for him and he may be all in. I'm just like, do you know what? It is what it is. With actions speak louder than words. So we'll see what your actions and reactions are like, Ronnie, shall we not? So again, Harriet with the asking if they kissed, and I'm just like, it's none of your damn business, Harriet. Like, seriously, it's none of your damn business. So a text comes in. Mimi and Ao go on their first date, and they do have a spectacular date. And I'll go into the date now. And the conversations that they do have, lends it to feelings that, you know what, they're not so far apart in terms of being closed off and trying to have a proper relationship with each other. They didn't say those words in exact, but the way that Ao was speaking like, you know, life into Mimi, that's how it came off in that sense, and Mimi was receptive to that. So if Ao does anything stupid after this, on his head be it, because Mimi will then know what type of man this person is and then be able to act accordingly. So we see Tiffany and Ronnie having a chat. Tiffany was not feeling Ronnie at this point, and he could tell. So Ronnie was there trying to give her all this guff, and Tiffany, my girl, I have to give her a round of applause for that one. Turns around and tells this man that he's chat shit. And Ronnie was not expecting that coming from her, and he was like, what? So she basically tells him what Harriet said, and it's kind of like, if you're telling this girl this stuff and then you're coming to chat, you know, nonsensical stuff in my ear hole, don't do that. Seriously, don't do that, because she is the one type of person where I think Tiffany will literally just walk away from Ronnie if she has to. She ain't one of these people that's going to literally take everything he says and the lip surface he's giving like Harriet does and run with it. So this is why, as I keep saying, Ronnie needs to engage his brain before he speaks. So Ronnie basically turns around and says, right, he's going to have that chat with Harriet. He's basically saying to Tiffany that, you know what, I want to be all in. Well, not necessarily all in with you, I'm paraphrasing, but he wants to get to know her better. With Harriet, it was just a funny type of shit at the end of the day. He ain't feeling that for Harriet. You see Will having the first discussions of many, I shall say, in regards to wanting to kiss Uma. And he's saying he's willing to wait. So my thing is, if you're willing to wait, dude, just quit talking about it, because it's speaking of your behaviour, speaking of that you are not willing to wait for it. Like, you really want Uma, but you want to go to the next step, but Uma is moving that little bit slower than you are. It's a test. Let me just put it that way. It's a test to see if you are worthy enough for this girl at the end of the day. Uma knows her worth. Uma has self-respect. She ain't just gonna jump into it like all the other girls have and end up getting fucked over at the end of the day. She does have her own little insecurities, but she ain't ready to jump into that rubbish if you are not going to show her what it is that she wants to see. You see Harriet having a chat with Nicole, and of course Ronnie is on her lips again. I'm just like, oh, can't she just let it go? Like, seriously, can't she just let it go? So it's Nicole who lets it out of the bag that Tiffany and Ronnie did in fact kiss before they went to bed last night. Harriet starts crying, and I'm like, what the fuck are you blotting for? This is par for the course for Ronnie. You know this is. You've dealt with this man for the longest so far, and you're trying to sit there and tell me you're crying because he kissed this girl after you told him he can't kiss and cuddle her. Come on now. Was Ronnie going to listen to that? No, Ronnie shouldn't have given you his word though. Shouldn't have given you his word that that's what he would do, because we all knew he weren't going to do that. So then Harriet gets off her backside and decides to run over to Tiffany. And I'm just like, oh my God, here we go again. Even Tiffany is like, my fucking God, can't you leave me the fuck alone? That's the words I would have said to her, like, to Harriet at that point. Leave me the fuck alone. At the end of the day, I'm getting to know Ronnie. What happens between us two happens between us two. What happens between you two happens between you two. But leave me the fuck alone, because I don't have to tell you every little thing that goes on. Like, seriously, I don't have to. And Harriet's there blarting about, well, why didn't you tell me that you two kissed? I don't even know why Tiffany apologised for that kiss, because it was literally a peck before bed. I don't even know why she apologised, because it's none of Harriet's Ross business. At the end of the day, Harriet is not his girlfriend. So Tiffany then walks off, and because Ronnie comes up quickly, and Tiffany wanted to get the hell out of there, you could say that. So Ronnie does sit there and basically tells Harriet that that's it. Basically, he dumped Harriet. And Harriet was, even though she was saying, okay, that's fine, you know it wasn't okay and it wasn't fine, because she later goes into the dressing room and has a little bit of a cry, and you see Jess and Nicole going after her and speak life into her and X, Y, and Z at the end of the day. But I knew it was going to end like that. And I knew Harriet was going to feel shitty about it. But she isn't going to see what it was that made things go the way that it did. Because yes, Ronnie's a dickhead. Yes, Ronnie is a red flag walking. And yes, Ronnie is a bit of a geezer and a player. We all saw that. But Harriet didn't. She's got to open her eyes up to this, to how people play these games. No, she really has. She's had the experience of Ronnie. She needs to see that if anybody else comes in who's interested in her, make them fucking work for it. Come on now. If they're really that interested in you, don't make it easy for them. Make them work for it. Anyway, you see Ronnie when they're having this conversation with the girls. Harriet's having a conversation with Nicole and Jess, and he's by the door listening to them, and I'm like, you know what, at this point, my guy, just stop. Go in your corner and leave Harriet well enough alone. You've ended things with her. That's how it's gonna stay. So Ronnie goes back out, telling the others in the kitchen what happened and the fact that he ended things with Harriet and said the reasons why, and the smiles that Tiffany got, like as if she said, you know what, I've won. That was it. I just hope Tiffany don't end up the same way that Harriet did, or the same way that Jess did, to be fair. I really hope not. So a text comes in, 2 new bombshells coming in. They've chosen the islanders who they want to date. So it's Konnor and it's Matilda. So basically we know the gist. It's the 3-course meal. Connor's going to choose 3 girls who he wants to cook his starter, main and dessert. Matilda's going to pick 3 lads who she wants to starter, main and dessert. So Matilda for the starter was Omar. Sean got picked for the main, and Will selected with the dessert. Uma looked like, oh my God, not a fucking again. Please, not again. I can't go through another one of these shitty craps like I did with the AO and all of that situation. So Konnor has asked Grace to prepare his starter. Joey was not liking that at all. The look that man gave, his head spun around so quick he thought it would snap off his neck. So Nicole was talking about how the main course is more important, and she got chosen to make the main course, and she was like, shit. Kieran was not liking that either. And Mimi then got chosen for dessert, and Aya was like, this man is sending messages with these pics. And he was sending messages with these pics. He was like, fuck that, they're in couples. How am I gonna get to know you? So I'm sending a message to your men to let them know, you know what, I ain't above stealing you, girl. Just know what I mean? So it came to the night time, and you see them coming. You see Konnor and Matilda coming. Matilda, good looking girl. Konnor, good looking lad, ain't gonna lie. So Konnor, another rugby lad. I was like, Nicole, you in danger, girl. So you see Jess looking and liking the look of Konnor. Joey looked actually worried. And Ronnie and Matilda know each other because apparently, I know she says it in the next episode, but I'll say it now. Apparently, she dated one of his good friends, basically. So that's how they do know each other. So now it's come for the vote of the fave couple. You've got Grace and Joey. You've got Harriet and Sean, Uma and Will, Ayo and Mimi, Jess and Omar. All I hope for Sean is that someone picked him at last. So I'm kind of hoping that it will work out for him, and Matilda picked him because she liked him. But this is where this episode ended. I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on and doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do all the good things that you do, and I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. Peace out.